Hello, welcome to another video. This isn't your average style video from my channel. In fact, this sounds exactly like those commercials for financial compensation. Looking like your typical r/whatever subreddit review channel. Sounding like an emergency alert system message on TV. But jokes aside, this is a new video format I'm trying out. Moving on to the main topic here. God of War. The father of conflict. Dad issues. All acceptable variations of a very outstanding game, which, in my opinion, should have won this year's Game Awards. But it did win the most awards this year, so I guess it kinda balances out, but who cares? Now, the boss fight that you are seeing was one of my favorite fights in the game simply because of the challenge. This game has so many fights and they all were super fun and cool, especially with the little R3 cutscenes. Usually some games like to reuse the same moves and bosses, which makes the experience kind of boring. Take for example Ghost of Tsushima. But in Ragnarok, each boss and mini-boss has different styles of attacks. That's something I can appreciate. The only minor issue I had was that sometimes there would be a point where the boss would hit you but then hide. By hide I mean like run away from you, which makes it kind of annoying to have to wait for them to strike. Which I guess is kind of my own personal problem because I'm an impatient person. But putting that aside, I really loved the fights. And the combat style was cool too. Like that one move with the Blades of Chaos. Pretty satisfying. Another thing I loved was the storytelling. Pretty much everyone loved it, and for a good reason. The writers really had a clever way to come up with these dialogues, especially with Atreus, and the music really helps add emotion to the scenes. My personal rating for this game is a good 9.5 out of 10. It's a bit of a long game for my tastes, but the experience is worth it. I highly recommend this game for those who haven't tried it yet. Now, it is time for me to get something out of my chest.
Hello. Hi. So, what part of the enormous wall made you think, oh, visitors must be welcome?
This troglodyte, repulsive, virus-embracing, shit-stain, who looks like a rejected character design of Cole McGrath, but instead of a shaved head he has a turtle's shell as hair, is none other than the cigarette butt, level waste of space known as Heimdall, or as I like to call him, horse shit. He looks like James Maslow's long-lost brother. Bro's hair looks like airplane contrails. Bro sounds like he voice acted the "Yeah, that's me" you're probably wondering.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation.
Maybe you got rid of that old yee-yee-ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick.
Bro's hair looks like Cuban links. Hair built like the wires of Christmas lights. Nose looking like Barnacle Boy. Bro has the personality of your standard self-centered teacher's pet in school named Sydney or Emily. He even looks like a f***ing Emily. Bro looks like he drives a 2014 Mustang. If a blind person smacked the top of his head, they would think it's a football. He looks like if Genos was a frat boy. He looks like Supergirl from the Valley CW. It should be very clear that this parasite of a Norse god is my least favorite character in the game. It's not that he's a hard boss fight. In fact, it was a pretty balanced fight of possible and impossible. I just really f***ing hate people like heimdick. I'd rather bob for apples inside of a Chevron gas station toilet than be associated with these people who have a self-centered, cocky, snarky mentality. That's pretty much it for this video. God of War Ragnarok, highly recommend. And f*** Heimdall. I hope you enjoyed.